Welcome back to another quick tip video. In this video I'm going to show you a very simple way to drill a hole in plaster walls without the use of an electric drill. Many people live in older homes that have very thick plaster over wood lath walls, like you see right here in this image. And many others have very dense plaster sheets screwed into the studs. Both of these walls make it very difficult for homeowners, especially those that aren't too handy and lack power tools, to hang pictures on their walls as well as other things. Plaster over wood lath walls were used in homes built pre-World War II up to the mid to late 1950s, and plaster sheets were used around the 1950s, later on probably to the 1970s, and the reason for using sheets like we have right here on these walls was to cut back on the labor-intensive process of applying wood lath with multiple layers of plaster, which required skilled plasterers, and also to speed up the construction of homes. For the last 40 plus years, most homes have been using drywall, and we all know how easy it is to make a hole in drywall. Walls today are nothing like walls from years ago. It's very easy to hang things with drywall. You can take an easy anchor like you see right here, this end. Now there's a couple of different ends that I've seen. Now it's intended to place a Phillips screwdriver right here, hold it against the drywall, keep rotating, it makes a hole in the drywall, and then once it gets to this point, you thread it all the way in until this part is flush. Now some of these are very cheap. When you go to turn them, the end starts to bend and twist and flex. So what I recommend doing if you have drywall is don't even bother screwing this in. Take a Phillips screwdriver, place it in the exact position where you want to put an anchor, and then you're going to push hard and twist and turn, and you'll easily be able to go right through that drywall. When you take the Phillips screwdriver away, you can then take the easy anchor, place it in the hole, tighten it down securely. Or you can use a plastic anchor like you see right here. Simply take the plastic anchor off, insert it into the hole you just made, and tap it flush with a hammer. Once that's done, you could take the Phillips screw and thread it into the anchor, hang pictures on it, or any other thing that you'd like to hang up. Now in order to make a hole in a very strong wall like this one right here, you're going to have to take a Phillips screwdriver and a hammer. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold the Phillips screwdriver in the exact location where you'd like to make a hole, and you're going to gently strike the end right here, and each time you strike it, you're going to rotate the screwdriver maybe a quarter of a turn. Strike it again, rotate it again, keep striking, and what's going to happen, the end of this screwdriver is going to act like a star drill. Now a star drill is what you see right over here, and it's used to make holes in concrete. You would hold the star drill like this, place it where you'd like to make a hole in concrete or rock, strike it, and every time you rotate, it allows the area that you crushed to be cleared away on each rotation, and you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. You would blow the hole out, and you'd be able to drill a hole using just that star drill and a hammer. So we're going to be doing the same thing using a Phillips screwdriver, and no, you don't have to worry about destroying the tip because this tip is much harder than the plaster on the wall. Now there's two ways you could do it. The first way, we're going to be making a hole to insert a plastic anchor, and then the second way I'm going to show you is to be able to screw a sheet metal screw into the wall without a plastic anchor. Now keep in mind, the wood lath walls are very thick. They're about 3/4 of an inch thick, and then you have the 1/4 inch wood lath behind it. So if you make a hole the way I'm going to show you, ideally you would go all the way to the wooden strip, and then you could put a screw into the wood strip. Okay, let me make a hole in the wall right over here. Solid. Unlike drywall. So let me zoom in right over here, and then you're going to be watching the tip, and the hammer will be just out of view. Okay, give it a tap, and rotate. Makes no difference which way you go. And you can see we have a nice hole going into that very strong plaster so far. Keep going. You don't want to hammer too hard. Do it gradually, just because you don't want to blow out the back of the plaster. So do it gradually until the hole goes through. Okay, we're almost all the way through. Nice clean hole. And you can see the plaster is not chipping. Sometimes what will happen if you put a screw in the wall, as soon as you go to tighten it, the plaster will bubble up and pop off. If you do it this way, you're not going to have that problem. And there you go. You just made your hole in the wall nice and clean. And the best part, you did not need a drill. Let me give you a close-up on that. Okay, now that you saw how clean this hole is, the next step is to take a plastic anchor, insert it into the hole, and you're going to tap it all the way in. And then you're good to go now. Take your Phillips screw, and you're going to thread it into the anchor. Now if you don't want to use a plastic anchor on a very hard plaster wall, then you could screw in a sheet metal screw like you see right here. This is a number 10 by 1 inch sheet metal screw. You need to find a much smaller Phillips like you see right here. And you want to make sure the diameter is the diameter of the shank of the screw. You see the threads that stick out? Then you can see the inner part. You want to make sure it's the same size as the inner part or slightly smaller than the diameter of the screw, including the threads. You're going to use this one first. Let's do the same thing right over here. You're going to tap, tap, tap. There you go. All the way through. Now that that hole has been made, you could take a Phillips screw, thread it into that hole, and it will have a very strong grip on the plaster, and it will not come out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to rate, thumbs up, subscribe, and post links to this video on other websites and blogs. Also be sure to check out my video playlist as well. Thank you very much for watching.